Hello. Today, September 20th, 2021, is the first anniversary of me starting my journey as a shiny hunter. I'd like to give credit to Supreme Arcanine, Sonics, and Shiny Collector for inspiring me to do this. I began this beginning of the year, senior year of high school, and in this time I've caught, I think, 25 shinies. I've done over 200,000 encounters, and it's just been a very fun journey. So I'd just like to go over the shinies I found and see if maybe it'll encourage other people. So on day 5 of hunting, I found this shiny Poochyena, which really made me question whether I should have started with the Hoenn starters, because it's rough to start with an uncatchable shiny. But in the end, it's still a shiny, and I'm still very happy that I found it. Then I found Mudkip. No multiple uncatchables, that was lucky. The first uncatchable took 10,508. This one took 10,248 if you're counting both the Mudkips and the Poochyenas. And not a great nature, didn't have good IVs either, but it was very great to find my first shiny. I had actually hunted Treecko, and I got a lucky shiny Feebas Intelligent before this, but neither of them began during this hunting period, so I didn't include them. Thoroughly enjoyed this. It was a surprise. It took 14 days after I started hunting to find my first shiny, but it was just amazing to finally find something. And of course, I gave it a very dumb name. I'm not good with nicknames. This one was in Petalburg Woods. I was hoping for a Shroomish, but this one took 9,600, and I was too early in to start phasing. I couldn't keep going in the same area thinking I'd get another Wurmple or, God forbid, a Zigzagoon. So I didn't go back after this. It did evolve into a Dustox, and it was kind of the point where I was like, okay, so I need to start picking targets, because I want to run through with a team of 6 that are, static encounters, because I am not ready to be phasing for Pokemon. I will do that later, but not here. So the next target I picked was Duskull, and this one actually, I was using a Sapphire and a Ruby, because I didn't have duplicates of either game, because I was double hunting it, and that was only a 50% chance, but this was the one I wanted, and it took 7,300. It was the first under odds hunt I had. He is just really cool. I did it in October too, because, why not? It's such a good hunt. And then next we have Deoxys, and if you don't know how I unlock Deoxys, there are some videos online, but essentially you need Game Boy Advance flash card where you can download ROMs and games from the internet onto a card that fits inside your Game Boy Advance, and then you use that to wireless adapters onto Game Boy Advances to connect a ROM of the original event to your Fire Red or Leaf Green. And this one came really quick. It was my first super fast hunt, 1,774. I remember catching this one, I just Master Bolted immediately. I panicked for a second, because I saved the game and I was like, wait, did I actually catch a shiny, or did I just completely hallucinate that? But no, it was real. None of these have very great natures yet, but I've really enjoyed hoping for a good. I don't think I found a single one with good natures, but there's always hope. At this point, I use this on my team for team of 6, but obviously at that point I wasn't really doing that very properly, given that you're not supposed to have a Deoxys in Ruby and Sapphire before the Elite Four. But I mean, it was more for the fun of it. So before I go to the next one, there's actually a big difference in time between these. The other ones took a week, 2 weeks at most between finding a shiny. There's a big gap between this one, almost a month and a half. And that's because before I switched over to the next one I caught, which as we will see here is Kyogre, I actually did a ton of encounters, specifically double odds 16,400 for Anorith, He was not the fastest encounter rate Pokemon, and I was just dead inside. So when I switched over to this one, I was like, I just need to find a fast hunt, and it was 1,148. Very fast. I was so happy to find this so quickly after such a grueling previous section. And then, I think 3 weeks after that, I went back to shiny hunting, and I found the sick Rayquaza. This is, I think, my first one of my Japanese copy I'd bought recently. That just looks so good, doesn't it? Even in 3rd gen, just Black Rayquaza is just so cool. You can't see the nature on this one because I did take a picture after I traded it over, but it is just an amazing shiny. The blue mouth, too, just always stands out so silly. And as you'll notice, I did name some of these Kuro, Japanese for black. All the legendaries are caught in Master Balls. I'm a wimp. I wasn't risking it. And then this one was Swablu. I caught this one like days after the other one because I wanted to test if you have a DS and 2 Game Boy Advance SPs running White Flute Illuminate Mach Bike. The encounter rate was like 1,000 an hour. It was absolutely absurd. I think I didn't even do 2 full days of hunting on this one. It just showed up. It took, what I put down, it took 6 hours. Probably one of the fastest I've had. Well, there are a few other really good ones in here, but one of the fastest I've had was absurdly fast. It's also just a great shiny. I didn't take a picture. I took a picture from this perspective because I finally wasn't scared to take a picture before I caught it. I always thought I was going to freeze or I was going to accidentally run if I stopped in the middle. But now you'll see some of them from this perspective and some of them from the other perspective. Groudon. Finishing off the weather trio. He was 2,100. So we're on a streak of easy shinies. We had the Deoxys, but then the big break from Anorith. Then I had a 1,100, 4,300, 4,500, 2,100 for my serious Groudon. I later named him Mountain. I thought it was a good name. At this point, I was just cruising through. I was on an absolute high. I was gonna get my shinies. I was having so much fun. I moved immediately to my next one, which was 1,800, which was absurd. I was quad hunting it, 2 for this one, 1 for Latios, and 1 for Regice, because my Japanese Sapphire, I didn't have the safe manipulation on. I didn't use safe manipulation to activate the events like I later would with the R4 DS Lite method. You might have seen that somewhere. There's an amazing program for it if you ever want to activate some of the old 3rd gen events. I would definitely recommend that. So I was just blown away. It's just beautiful, right? Like, this is just an amazing shiny. Plus you get with the Soul Dew, so it's fun to actually use. It's not the permanently low IV'd roamer ones, even if finding a roamer one is way more impressive than this. But here comes the final boss, Regice. This man, over the span of 2 months, took me 42,864 encounters. 42,000. I was quad hunting this, and it still took me somewhere close to 72 hours to find. Absolutely disgusting. I don't know if you can tell from the spacing of the name, but it was a Japanese copy that I found it on. I traded it over. It's the GTQ 1-3. But man, was this a brutal hunt. This tested my patience, but once you got past 20,000, I was like, for the love of Christ, I will find this Pokemon, even if it kills me. And I did. I was so happy. I was watching a terrible anime. I forgot I think it was Old Fairy Tale, and I just flipped over and kicked my chair over. I was so excited. And we move on to Anorith. After this one, I was like, after I complete this obnoxious one, I had to go back and find Anorith. Took me another 4,000 encounters, 21,780 for Anorith. I was quad hunting it now instead of double hunting it. And Anorith is just a really good one. I don't know if you've ever seen the sprite from where you trade it over to Coliseum, because that's what I did. It's so good. The red and blue is perfect. It looks a little goofy, but I think it just kind of makes it look distinct. Makes it look very interesting relative to the other ones. Its normal form on here is just intimidating. I later named him Bloodbug. He had a good menacing name. And then I did a ton of encounters for Regirock in the first day, and then the next day just found him at 5,600. So we're back to some good hunts after such annoying hunts. This was a very nice find. It took me only 9 hours. I did most of that while watching I think this was the March 21st. It was around when the Christopher Nolan cut or whatever from whatever was the Justice League cut. It was Sped that was doing this the whole time we were watching it. It's such a weird movie. And then you have this one. This was back to the sad hunts. This was 18,084, over double odds, so not fun. About 30 hours. Quad hunting 8 was pretty fast, so I wasn't too sad that it went over odds. And then I did a ton of encounters, doing solo single encounters for Latios, because I only had one system for it. I was just eating up days. Eventually I found this instead. Found Celebi. I'd been doing this one before for a while. I never record the encounters for this, so I have no idea how many it took, but it was a very, very long one. It was very good to have, though. It's such a cool one to catch mythicals right now. I now have 2 shiny mythicals. I would never have thought that was even possible. Seeing it in Gen 2, I did eventually trade it up to my home to keep it along with my the random shinies I found, and the Milotic and Trico I traded up from Gen 3 that I hunted like 4 years ago. But it's just so good. Beautiful color. It's nice to get it in Pokemon Go too, so now I have 2 of them. Although Pokemon Go one is not quite as amazing as this one, for obvious reasons. And the next hunt I had set up just the day I caught it. I set this up the day I caught it. This hunt took me 20 minutes. I caught this shiny Oshawott in 80 encounters. 80. I was so excited. I ran down from my room. I hit the bench up by the door to my room, and I cut my leg, and I fell over, and I had a cut, a big bruise on my leg for the rest of the day. It was not fun, but I was just so excited. I had to show someone. I was like, I cannot believe it. When I saw it sparkle, it took me a second to realize, holy crap, it happened. Because these are not even quick encounters either. And to find it first, like, really early, I was so excited. I was like, okay, the luck has come back. Until after this started Safari Week, I think. Is this no, not Safari Week. Actually, after this, I started encounters for Mona. Mona would be my second party of this one. It's only 20% encounter rate in the area, so I was expecting some faces. But before I could even get anywhere into it, after what do I have here? Only about 2,000 encounters. I found Pokerus in that game. You'll see that in some of the shinies later. But yeah, I just found 5th gen Pokerus like really quickly. It was very odd. It's nice to have. But then after I had been doing alongside this Oshawott and by itself for a while before, Latios, who after just single hunting him by himself after 9,200 showed up. And no, he had been alongside a lot of my other hunts. So it was, I'd been doing a lot for him. I had been probably 6,000-7,000 for him alongside my other shiny hunts. And then another 9,000 that I recorded here by himself. And he was getting on my nerves. I'd had him there for a while. And yes, I named them Eon Boy and Eon Girl. I thought it was pretty cute. But now Safari Week begins. And the first few days of Safari Week were sad. I found Pokerus day 3, but you might have seen this one if you saw the other videos I posted. Not that I'm a YouTuber and anyone would see them. I think it took 7 days to find my first shiny at double odds 16,440 shiny Psyduck. He caught instantly. I was very happy, because after all those encounters I really did want to keep one. You might notice the picture quality looks a bit different now. I removed the old 001 screens from my Game Boy SPs and put in some new ones, and then I got a new phone and I switched the file format I'd done it for a project at school and then I never switched it back. It actually seems to make stuff look nicer now that I've been scrolling through my photos. The same day as this one, just later that day, I got 1,430 for Rhyhorn, which was just great. Rhyhorn is just such a cool shiny, and this one caught 2. I think he caught it for 3 or 4. It did give me a bit of a scare, but I got him. And then 2 days later, the last shiny of Safari Week, but obviously I caught it because it's here, was Execute. So all different shinies. I did this one in Fire and Leaf Ray, and the other 2 were in Ruby and Sapphire. It was just a good day overall. They're all first-gen Pokemon which I hadn't been hunting previously, so that's cool. And I think so far it turned out very well for me. I'm 0 for 3-0. I caught 3, didn't miss any of them. So that was very helpful. And so after this, I moved on to I was doing 2 hunts alongside each other. I was doing Phase 1 Munna, and I had just unlocked Naval Rock through I don't think that's the save file manip format, is it? Yeah, no, it's the save file manip one that I used. The R4 cards you put in your, DS Flash cards to run that program to add the event items in. I think that's what I did. To unlock a Naval Rock for Lugia. I started Lugia and first phase Munna. The first one to shine was Purloin. Not my target, but it's a good Pokemon. I meant to name it Charlie after my cat, but I named it Chari, which that just looks dumb. I didn't include some nature on this one, but it was very cool to find. After 12,500, I was just 12,500 for this one, 8,000 for Lugia. I was really just hoping something would show, and I did get rewarded. But the next part of this, we're entering the sad part of this journey. There will be no more under odds hunts. While I was setting up for what I intended to do after I finished this and a bunch of other hunts, like a very long ways away, I'd set up level 4 Repel Trick Ralts encounters for 10% Ralts in 3rd gen on 4 systems. I hadn't even started any encounters. I was just walking into the grass to position my guy to save the game. And I found this. Rightfully named Trash Goon. This was the biggest insult I've had shiny hunting. Understand that while I was doing this, I had gone over odds for second phase Munna at 8,500, and double over odds for Lugia at 17,000, and in the middle of these hunts, as I was just setting up a different one, I got greeted by the worst shiny imaginable. I was dumbstruck, completely dumbstruck. That was the biggest gut punch to my motivation I've had so far. Just, there's no words for how insulting this was. Only 6 days later, I would actually find my target in the Lugia, who was really cool to see. He kind of popped up really quickly, and I just immediately Master Balled him. I noticed it instantly. I was like, okay, we're done with this. And that red looks so good in Gen 3. Usually has like the black and then the blue underbelly in Gen 3, where in later generations you'd have blue eyes and blue underbelly. The red just really pops. I think it's a very good shiny. So then, a day later, while I was just encountering Pokemon for Munna, I actually got Munna. Second phase Munna. Like, that's some really good face luck. I was expecting 5 faces. This is another 12,500, so we're still over odds. Not great, but I found my target. I was blown away. I'm so happy to have him. He is the best. And now, we come to the last shiny, who took more time than any other shiny has. I've not included the times on some of these, but to get a general sense, the longest ones were Lugia, because I only had 2, and he had slow delays, so it was like 68 hours. Not fun. Plus he was 20,000. About 70 hours for Anorith, because he was another 20,000. 72 hours for Regice, because he was much faster ones, but still so many. This one will be caught after 12,845. When I was solo hunting it, I had been doing GameCube shiny hunts. I did 3,000 for shiny Shuckle, didn't get anything, and then I haven't gotten to a full 1,000 yet. did a couple hundred for double hunting Shadow Shiny Makuhita, which I mean I didn't luck with that either. But during all that time, a span of 2.5 months, I found the last shiny just before the anniversary came up. Shadow Shiny Mew. This guy took an estimated 128 hours to hunt. Never have I been more emotionally crushed by a hunt than during this one. And I'll have you know, this Smeargle spored him, double false swiped, and caught him third ball in a dive ball. I went for the dive. I didn't even go for the master ball this time. Plus dive ball just looks cooler, but man, never have I been more destroyed by a shiny hunt. But if we landed on a high note, we're back in it, and I'm hoping to join back in shiny hunting this year as well. I hunted. The set the hunt I'm going to do Ho-Oh to finish off the event, 3rd gen event shinies. I have the Southern Island Latios, the Faraway Island Mew, Birth Island Deoxys, so then Naval Rock, Ho-Oh, and Lugia. I should finish them all off to add them to my 3rd gen collection, because I've still mostly been hunting 3rd gen. But then I set up the 4th gen mythical events, so I'm going to be doing Shaman, then Darkrai. I might do Darkrai first because it's going to be October soon, so that's a fun hunt. Then Darkrai, then Arceus. And after that, I'm going to finish up my 5th gen Dream Team quest. I'm double hunting it, so I guess it's still technically not a legit Dream Team quest, but I prefer to have one hunt going at a time. Well, also, I guess I won't be having one hunt going at a time, because in the background of all these hunts, I will still be doing GameCube encounters, praying against all odds that I find a Shadow Shiny, the ultimate achievement for a shiny hunter of my tier. My goal will be to defeat the DDQ. I need a pretty high, I think it's 40% for Swaddle. Then I built up a Join Avenue over a long period of time, just about like 2 minutes a day to it for like the last 2 months, to get a 15, like a Hall of Fame beaded Pokemon White with a level 15 Join Avenue with 2 completed antique shops, so I can buy a bunch of, so I can hope to get plume. I haven't found a single plume fossil, but so I can get 10 plume fossils, so I can get the one in my. So when I get the plume fossil in my white and black game, I'll immediately turn it into an Archon, which will record it in the Pokedex, and then I'll send 5 to one game, 5 to the other, from my Master White 2, and then you record the register at the page. You register to your select the forms page of the Archon, so you can see how many forms of it you've seen. Then you trade in you save right before you hatch the eggs, turn the fossils back to life, and then after you've turned all 5 fossils back to life, after you talk to the person enough times, you just click select, and it'll bring up the page. If the shiny form isn't registered, you didn't find shiny, you reset. That should get really fast. Double hunting 10 encounters each one, probably 1.5 minute encounters. But probably the fastest way of doing that. It's be very cool if I can get enough plume fossils. I cannot get enough plume fossils. I might just reset one of the games and just keep running at the plume fossil over and over again until I get it. But that's so long, and I'd rather just spread out the time over, because I have so many hunts in between. I have that one. Then I'm going to do the same form registration one for Thundurus or Tornadus. I'm going to do black and white. I'm going to hunt that one. I have them over on my white too that I can trade over to those games to register them. And I think that's going to be interesting. And then the last one I think is going to be a Scrafty at another 40% counter rate. So should be too bad. But I'm very excited. I cannot wait for this to happen. If I ever do finish those, I will go and do what I'm going to call my master run of 3rd gen. I'm going to hit all the best Pokemon. Shroomish, Ralts. Since I'm going to be hitting Ralts, I'll probably get Seedot and Lotad, and hopefully Poochyena. And then I want Bagon, Lunatone, Solrock, Relicanth if I could, although that's a really slow one, I might not do that. What else? Some good. I didn't do Beldum. I could do Snow-Run, Dinsfield. There's so many good targets. Running White Flute, Illuminate, Mach Bite makes it so much easier too. So the counters in that game are so fast. So I'm very excited. Get my hopes up, and I think it'll be another good year of shiny hunting. If I still find the passion, I'm still invested in it. I'm sure I'll post one of these again at the September 20th of that year, and I hope I've made good progress. If you, by some chance, found this video, I thank you for sticking through, and I hope you enjoyed.